What's up, everybody? Trent Denson here with another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. Got a really awesome guest with us today, coming from upstate New York. Jumping on a Zoom call here. Really pumped to speak to this guy and hear his story and all that he has going on. Definitely a lot of stuff in line with Spread the Positive, and really pumped to hear his story, man. So Jesse Cruz, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Trent. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely, man. So you're a published author. Iraq veteran, mentor, coach, a lot of things for the youth population, basically, just looking out and trying to shape the youth, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Absolutely.
Nice, man. So typically how we do it, backstory, what you were into as a kid, early passions, anything along those lines.
Okay. Yeah. So growing up as a kid, sports is always a huge influence in my life. I love playing basketball. So that was one of my favorite things to do to pass the time was play basketball. And
Same.
I've been fortunate enough to, have children who are involved in basketball as well. So I've coached their teams before on multiple sports, and I enjoy coaching. It's a great thing to be involved with, to connect with youth in the community that I live in and I serve at. And I work for an organization called Youth Advocate Programs, and working with youth there. But growing up, obviously sports is a huge thing.
Right.
And there was a couple bits and pieces here and there where I would write on free time.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it thoroughly as a kid, but I never really pursued it. I kind of off and on would do it here and there, and then I just kind of left it alone. Not until recently, a few years back, where I picked up the habit again, and the writing turned into a book.
Nice, man. Can you go ahead and speak on the book, like what the inspiration was and what's it about, the goal, what the impact's been, all of that?
Right. So the title of the book is Live Your Dash, Discovering the 8 F's to Freedom. And for those who don't know, the dash is represented the dash you would see on a tombstone. So from the
Oh,
time you're born to the time you pass away, and the dash in the middle is what the reason you're here for. It's the
man.
purpose of your life. You know what I mean? It's the meaning of your life. That dash is a small part of a tombstone, but it's the huge part of our life, because that's
Wow.
what our purpose is all about, what we do with the time we've been given. And so that's what this book is about. And the 8 F's are 8 different areas of everyone's life that we all experience. And by being intentional about those 8 areas, you can live a life more purposefully.
Right. Dude, that's amazing. That's some deep stuff. I didn't know what that meant, but man, that hit me. That's some strong stuff right there. What are the 8 F's? Can you get into that some?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I start off the book, I believe everything starts with focus. So, I think your thoughts literally direct the path in life you'll take. I use a reference to a quote that I heard, that your life moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. So whatever you're thinking about the most, whatever you're spending the most time thinking about, that is the direction your life is heading in, no matter what it's about, whether it's good or it's negative or whatever the case may be. Whatever you think about, that's where you're going in life.
Yep.
And so I think focus is a huge thing. So, the first chapter of the book is lined out in focus. And I can just jump into a few more, just a real brief run through. I talk about the importance of fitness. I believe, if you're trying to live a purposeful life, you need to have your health in order. That's exercising, that's eating well, that's sleeping properly. That's also mental fitness, meaning you're going to have to challenge your brain and your muscles in your brain to grow, for your mind to have that dream and vision come true, because we want a healthy mind and a healthy body. They both need to be exercised. In a body, we're familiar with exercising at a gym, and the mind, more exercising it, whether that's reading books, going to conferences, learning a new skill. You're exercising muscles in your brain for it to grow, to retain more information, to become more successful. I jump over to talk about the finances. Obviously, we all have a dream in us, which I believe we all do. How are we going to finance that dream? Usually these dreams are going to cost us something, whether that be time or the money or our effort. It's to manage the resources that we've been provided with effectively. So I talk about the finances. Another one, which I feel is overrated, which I believe most adults forget about this. I think as soon as we turn adults, we forget about this F. Children never forget about this. Adults always forget about this, and that's fun.
Yes, man. Yes.
Because if you want to, without enjoying life, what are you really doing these things that you're doing for? You know what I mean? I feel like you do things more efficiently when you're having fun doing them. You know what I mean? It's hard to be effective if you're not having any fun in anything you're doing.
Yes, dude.
So those are the first 4.
I love it, man. I love all of that. I definitely need to. I'm gonna get a copy of this. I've been meaning to order it, and I will definitely order it now. That's some strong stuff, dude. I really appreciate all of that. And I got to give a quick shout out to our guy Sean Bracy, the intro to this podcast, man. Sean's been on the podcast and has his stuff going with Motivator Music. Just a really uplifting, positive dude. Can you speak about how y'all met? I haven't really gotten the backstory on that. Have y'all worked together? Or?
So, I mean, I think we were connected in a similar, like a Facebook group. And
Yeah.
I think somebody had posted something, I mentioned something, then he messaged me, and then we were just talking back and forth. And then he was just kind of sharing what he does. I was sharing what I do. And then he's like, you know what? I think I know the perfect guy for you. So he pointed me to you, and I'm thankful for that, for that connection and networking. So he just pointed me your direction. Then I contacted you, and that's just how it went.
Man, that's cool, dude. Yeah, Sean's a good dude, man. He's got an amazing story too. Definitely loving what he's doing with Motivator Music. Shouts to him for sure, and thank you for reaching out. Definitely a great textbook example of everything we're trying to bring light to, spread the positive. So thank you for that. I'm glad you did. And just further connections and all that type of stuff that can come from these things is kind of the best part of it all. So super grateful for that, dude. What else, man? What all you got going in the coaching space or the mentor space or like the outreach side of things? What's that look like?
So, I mean, I've been working at an organization called the Youth Advocate Program for over 9 years now. Currently mentoring 16 youth, grades 3rd, 6th, and 9th, because those are the transition ages. And they're usually at those ages, they're going to a different school building. So there's different expectations. So I go into the schools and I run groups of them every morning. And, just to I'm an advocate for them. So my objective is to help them be successful and to make that rites of passage from one stage in their life to the next. And I'm just someone that they can turn to and lean on, whether that's, in the mornings when I'm with them. I check on them in the afternoons, come down to do lunch. I take them out in the community. So we do community events and engagement out there, stopping at the home, checking with the family. So it's just a complete service where I can have flexibility to just meet them right where they're at, with their school, with their family, and community all rolled into one.
Man, that's amazing, dude. So you've been there 9 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Shouts to you for doing that. And I'm sure y'all's relationship that's so cool, man. I love hearing about stuff like that. I love getting involved with like there's a program here in town called Indoor Athletics, and it's it's a nonprofit that services the homeless youth population here in Rutherford County, man. And it's the same thing, dude. Just being there for those kids, being a positive, and just being there as like as a role model, or just being there as just someone that they can trust and know that we got their back, man. It's like the biggest thing ever for those kids that are in a really tight spot. So man, it's I'm sure that's just like beyond rewarding on your end, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. It's an honor for sure.
That's cool, man. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. It's one of kind of the main topics we always talk about on the podcast. Just the ability to not be delusional in your mindset, but always try to err on the side of having a positive mindset, coming from a place of gratitude, just the things that we know that can really help not only us, but the people around us, stuff like that. So what are some of your go-to tips and routines to kind of stay in a positive mindset or headspace, even when times are tough, or, stuff like that?
So I think a lot of that actually kind of points back to the ideas in my book, but I'll get to that in a minute. So for me, it's all in the morning routine.
Love it.
Waking up early, having a family. If I wake up early, I get that time alone. You know what I mean? And I use that time to, whether that's just writing, whether that's reading, whether that's just thinking. Breathing, meditating. Prayer. My faith is a huge part of my life, so I take that very seriously, and that's what guides me more than anything in this world. And when I get that straight, everything else seems to fall in line.
That's amazing, man. What are what are the non-negotiables in your morning routine? I know you mentioned some of those right there, but if you miss one of these things, you can't miss those few things in your morning routine. You got a couple of those?
I'd say it's a couple I mean, there's simple things. I mean, but like, I cannot go throughout my day without starting with reading.
I like it.
Um, so for me, reading is what gets my mind, as kind of what I reference in the book, is like that's what gets the fitness of my mind
Okay.
going, because that's where it all starts, and your thoughts really just direct your life. So I'm reading positive material, I'm reading scripture, I'm reading things that will enlighten and empower me and guide me spiritually and help me to become a better man and a husband and a father and a leader. Those are the things that I'm reading first thing in the morning, because I believe the first 15 minutes of your day sets the tone for the entire day. So it's
100.
crucial that
Yeah.
those first 15 minutes are spent intentionally focused on things that are going to help you help the world.
Boom, dude. That's a mic drop right there. That is that's solid, man. Good stuff. Dude, thank you for that. That is I couldn't agree more. And like you said, when I don't have that super intentional first thing straight out of the bed, my day gets weird really quick. So couldn't agree more with that, dude. That's amazing. Another topic we always like to ask our guests on the podcast is just when it comes to kind of the bigger picture, being part of a community, coming from a place of service and, serve like a servant's heart, all that type of stuff that we know, again, will just make our lives more likely, more rewarding, more impactful, more purposeful, all those things, man. So like why, I can tell, I mean, being at the program you've been with for 9 years and the books and the outreach and the way you mentor your kids and everything like that, man, like why is it so important to you to always come from or just be aware of the bigger picture in the community versus just what's in it for you per se?
Because I know what it's like to hurt. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Going through certain traumatic events and situations that I've gone through in my life. You know what I mean? That's what birthed this whole book to begin with. You know what
mm,
I mean? Because I wrote my book to the greatest tragedy I
mm.
have ever experienced in my entire life.
Wow.
And I know what it's like to be hurting. I know what it's like to be suffering and in pain and in depression and PTSD and flashbacks. I've experienced all that.
Wow.
And I know I'm not the only one. You know what I
Wow.
mean? I just don't want people to walk around with these unhealed wounds everywhere that they go. I want to help them heal through encouraging them and being there for them, someone that has their back.
Damn. That's amazing, man. Thank you. That's strong, dude. Couldn't agree more. And it's I feel like to a certain degree, like that's what I mean, I don't understand how people don't do that. I know that might sound weird, but like, what do people focus on when they're not coming from a place of that? Like, it just seems counterintuitive, and just like you said, just not being there for your fellow man. It's just like a weird, like I just can't wrap my head around that a lot of times. You got any thoughts on that?
Well, I think a lot of times we want to just focus on what we can get.
Yeah.
Um, I truly believe giving is living.
Yes.
And when you spend all your time just taking, it creates a selfishness in you. And although that may feel good for a little while to get that temporary fix of this little piece of pleasure and satisfaction, that might feel good temporarily, but it always leaves you empty, unfulfilled, and wanting more out of life. And when you give and help and serve those in need, you always feel better than when you receive something else by trying to get, take, because the greatest thing you can do is to give to others, because when you give, that's when you actually receive the most.
100%, man. Couldn't agree more. Another one of the kind of key questions we always like to ask are, I mean, just kind of the underlying message of Spread the Positive is to bring light to what's going right. We always say that, things that are making a positive impact, community organizations, nonprofits, people in your life, articles you're seeing on social media, pretty much anything that you've seen that you would consider going right. Do you care to share a couple of those examples?
Okay, so what I'm gonna preface this by saying this is something that's not going right in the world, but it's an opportunity to get something right in your home, and
Okay.
that is the coronavirus, which has caused obviously tragic deaths. I know people who've directly been impacted by it, and their family members have lost their lives, and it is a sad, tragic thing, and it's changed the world forever. You know, what I
Right.
mean, we don't know what life is going to be like from now on this day forward. We just don't know.
Right.
But I will say is that because of life has slowed down in some ways, that has caused me more time of reflection, that has allowed me to work on being a better husband, a better father, and a better leader, because now I have created margin in my life, which gives me the space and time to evaluate my goals and what I truly want out of life, instead of just going from one meeting to the next, from one place to the next, never slowing down to really figure out what's going on with everything around me, because I'm always in a rush from place to place to place. Now, because of this unfortunate circumstance, I think the whole world has time to really think about what's really going on in their lives. You know, sometimes we try to pack our schedules to be so busy to never deal with the root issues of our trauma and our pain and suffering. So we fill our schedules to the max. But now we have time to really think about those traumatic events that have happened, and they always resurface. So this is a time to address those issues. So for me, it's been the time to get together with my thoughts and really understand what's going on in Jesse's world. Have a true, real understanding.
Yeah, dude, I agree, man. I've said it on a couple of podcasts here lately, just as tragic as all of this has been. And like you said, it's unimaginable. And the tragedy and hurt that this thing has caused is, you know, we can't even measure it. But at the same time, I feel like something similar to this kind of had to happen to a certain degree, just for us to be able to continue, man. Because I'm in real estate down here near Nashville, and you talk about hustle and bustle and just nonstop craziness, and just everything's just going up, 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 and it's just crazy. It's been really, really crazy. And I think that something like this did need to happen to a certain degree, just so that we could reset to a certain degree and just get back to the basics, like you said, because it's kind of the most important thing. I think we really, really lost sight of some of those things that we take for granted when it comes to you know, just being there with our family, taking time to take care of the people that we love, and not lose sight of that. So I'm with you on that too, man. It's amazing to see all of, I always got to tread lightly here, all of the good that has come from this, even though with the, I don't want to take anything away and don't want to be insensitive by any means, but like there's been a ton of stuff that has really, really brought light to things that we needed to be doing different and needed to be switching up. And I think it's a really amazing time right now. And like you said, just a huge opportunity in a lot of spaces to get back to where we should have been all along, you know?
Right.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, dude, got a couple more closing questions and we'll wrap it up. We always like to talk about gratitude, man. I know gratitude is probably a really important piece in your life and something that you practice on the regular. We always like to ask 4 things you're most grateful for. We call it the grateful for. What are your thoughts on that?
The grateful for
4 things you're most grateful for. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, first and foremost, I'm thankful to God for giving me the opportunity to wake up today. Because you know what? Some people didn't get to wake up today.
Yeah.
So I got to thank Him for allowing me to wake up. Some people didn't. So I'm thankful for my life.
Yeah.
With that, you know, I'm thankful for my wife and my children. I'm thankful for being able to get up every single day and do things that help people in need. So becoming an author, I'm thankful for the book, not because I'm someone special or someone great, but because a great gift was planted in me.
Right.
And now people get to reap that harvest, because everyone has a great gift to share with the world. And when you share that gift with the world, people are going to be impacted and touched because you're working within your gift. Sometimes people don't work within their gifts. They end up frustrated, struggling, depressed, or fatigued and tired because they're not working within their gift. But when you work within your gift, you feel energized. So I'm thankful for the energy that I get from being able to talk to people like you and to write books and to interact with people who are searching for something greater in life.
Yeah, dude. What any future plans for future books, or I mean, what else is coming from the book, or that side of everything?
Right. So I'm currently working on the second book now. The second book, so I'm going to get transparent here, but the second book is about the greatest tragedy I ever went to. So I wrote my book from the greatest tragedy, but it wasn't about the tragedy. The second book is, and so that book is being edited right now. I'm hoping to have it out by the end of the year. And so just so you have an understanding, all the listeners, whoever may listen to it, the understanding is that this book was written about my daughter who was born prematurely. She was due in May of 2017, but she was actually born in January.
Wow.
So she was extremely premature. And, obviously we were scared. We going up, it was a battle every single day and watching her fight for her life. And then after 42 days, she passed away.
I'm so sorry, man.
But it's because of her. I'm talking to you. It's because of her that book was written. So it's amazing to see how a 1-pound girl you never even met before has been able to impact people all over the world. They never even met her before, but they're impacted by her every single day.
Damn, man. Got me in my feels right now, dude. That's strong, man. And shouts to you, man. Shouts to you for being able to turn that tragedy into something so great, man. That's an amazing way to do it, and just an amazing story in itself, dude. I didn't know if that was something to bring up or not, but thank you for sharing that. And thank you, man. That's crazy, and not crazy, just it's powerful. And what you said really touched my heart just then. So shouts to her, man. Changing lives without even knowing it. So.
She's changing lives every day, man. That's what I do it for. It's for her.
Dang, dude. Yeah. That's what it's about, man. Yeah. Need a second here. Dude. So what's that one gonna be called? Can you share that yet?
Yeah, so I mean, her name is Faith,
Nice.
So the title of the book is gonna be Finding Hope While Leaving Faith.
Wow, dude. Yeah.
So I think sometimes we run out of faith because we don't get what we prayed for. We don't get the results that we wanted. We don't get the results that we think are fair or just.
Right.
And sometimes we get really bad news and we receive some of the worst tragedy of our life happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so our faith becomes shattered, or our faith becomes non-existent, or our faith never was there to begin with. But if you can hold on to hope, if you can just grab a little bit of that hope, you can heal. Your hurts can be healed. You can move forward if you hold on to hope. Because if you let go of hope, you're hopeless. And if you live a hopeless life, you can't live a fulfilled, purposeful life. You can't spread the positive with a hopeless life. It's impossible.
You're exactly right, dude. Man, that's strong as well. I love that title. I love the message. I love Live Your Dash, dude. Live Your Dash I've never heard of that. That's a really, really amazing perspective on that. And I've never even thought of it like that. But man, that's definitely gonna have to pick one of those up. Probably gonna hit Amazon right after this. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, and I'll definitely have all the notes and ways to get in touch with you, man. Can you go ahead and plug any ways to get in touch or follow you or follow your story or anything like that?
Yes, I mean, so I'm available on Facebook, Jesse Cruz, on my business page, Jesse A. Cruz. I'm also on Instagram, author Jesse Cruz. And then my email is another good way to get in touch, authorjessecruz@gmail.com. Those are all the best ways to get in contact with me.
Bet, man, bet. So that's amazing, Jesse. Thank you, dude. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the books, and thank you for the continued mentorship and just being an extremely amazing example of everything. Spread the positive, man. So super grateful to have crossed paths. Hopefully we'll be able to stay in touch, do some other stuff. If you ever get down on a book tour down to Nashville or anything, man, hit me up. I'd love to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, it'd be amazing to connect further. It's just such a blessing, dude, to connect with folks like you. Up in New York, and still, man, the mission is always the same. That's what I always find through these podcasts, is that we're all trying to do the same thing, or the people that are attracted to this are trying to do the same thing, and ultimately are, making a positive impact. That's what it always comes down to. So thank you, dude. Got me all the way in my feels over here like a little sissy, but I love it, man.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. I mean, everyone, whether they realize it or not, they want to spread the positive, but they just don't know how to find it. They don't know where to go look for it because they've been hurt. So they spread the negative.
Right.
Because that's all they've ever been shown or taught. But everyone deep down inside wants to spread the positive. It's just to get that negative out first, and then it can happen.
Man. And there's a lot of stuff that comes from that, and the growth, and going through that growth is not always not spreading the positive. Getting that out of your system, and growing through the pains. It's growing pains for a reason, because it hurts to grow, and you will lash out. You will have moments where you're not spreading the positive as much as you should be or could be, but That's all part of it, man. I've had some stuff here lately that I'm just like, man, like the growth and the clarity and things that are coming to my life now. It's just been really amazing. And that part of not always spreading the positive per se is kind of a form of doing that without even realizing it. Like having that perspective and being able to go back and realize that you were just growing through that phase. Like it's not always a bad thing. And like you said, it's just a matter of finding what really allows you to go out and spread the positive. So yeah, man, that's the perspective and your approach to a lot of things, man. It's really commendable. And like I said before, just super grateful to connect with you. Shouts to Sean again for the intro, motivator music, live your dash, all the stuff you got going, man. Thank you again. It's just been a real pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.